Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here. And yeah, a couple videos to hit you up with tonight. We got The Exorcist 3 and Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This one down here. We did that one last week. We're doing this one this week. Alrighty, so let's start with The Exorcist, shall we? Going back to 1990. This one kind of just ignores, my ass. Completely ignores part 2 completely. You got Kinderman and I forget the other father's name. Dyer. I think it's Dyer. Who were at the end of the first Exorcist movie, and they kind of formed this friendship. Well, this takes place many years later, and around the time of the first Exorcist film, when Regan's being possessed and everything, there was a killer going around. He was the Gemini killer. And what happens is, spoiler alert, sorry, I'm going to just have to jump right into it like this. Well, basically the killings are happening again. And, Kinderman's kind of troubled by it and everything. Kinderman's played by the late, great George C. Scott. I'm a huge fan of his. This movie, like I said, I'm not going to go through it beat by beat, but I fucking love this movie. In fact, this is my favorite from the Exorcist franchise. I've seen all 5 films. I know there's 4, and you got like that one that was like part 4, but wasn't released, and then it was released. You know the whole thing. But I think of all the 5 films, this is the best one. Like, flat out, the best one. The first one, I just never found scary. I'm sorry. And everybody's like, because that is a typical, like, some people who don't like horror movies, and they're like, well, I just don't think it's that scary. It's like, well, it doesn't have to be scary time. But this is, the first Exorcist is considered the scariest movie of all time. Like, in every top whatever list, when they're ranking the scariest films ever, The Exorcist is always up there. And disappointed. First time I watched it, did not care for it. Now, don't get me wrong, over time, and I've mentioned this before, it has grown on me. I'm a fan of it. But at the time when I first watched it, I thought it fucking sucked balls. What happened was, we're going back to probably 04, maybe. And you can tell this is the old school, like, fucking cardboard ass fucking things. Horrible DVD cases. They had a 3-pack of the first 3 films. And I'm just always a sucker for box sets or packs. And I'm better now, but I used to have a real problem where I'd have to just buy them. I'm like, oh. And that's the weirdest one, because I can't even explain now why I picked it up, because at that time I've never seen 2 or 3. I only seen 1. I didn't care for 1. But I saw it, and I mean, I'm sure it was a pretty good deal. I don't remember what the price I paid for it, but I'm looking at it at Walmart, and I'm like, yeah, I need that for my collection. I didn't need it at all. So I picked it up, rewatched 1 again. I won't say the first time I rewatched 1, I didn't even care for it. Second time either, just kind of like, oh god. Second one, fucking hated. Oh my god, that was a boring ass watch. Oh, I'm dreading reviewing that one at some point. We hadn't talked that one yet. Oh, that's a hard watch. I've seen it maybe twice now, and I'll tell you right now. Oh, I tried to rewatch it later on down the road, like, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years ago, just to, be like, well, maybe I was too hard on it. No, it's still shit. But anyways, when I get around to 3, at this point, I'm just kind of like, wow, I'm having buyer's remorse. I was like, why did I buy this? And I watched 3, and right off the bat, I'm like, this is so much better than both combined. And fuck the fans of the first one who are like, no, I'm sorry, this is better than the first one. I like this one because it definitely has that supernatural element to it too, but it's almost like a cop drama as well. I love the fact that, early on it focuses on the friendship between Kinderman and Father Dyer. And I really liked when you see him. Like, there's just certain shots, like, for example, good example is when Dyer, I think he had a heart attack, or he had something happened to him. He laid up in the hospital. And you can tell Kinderman is generally concerned about his friend. But, they're men. They're old men in the 90s. We don't talk about feelings and shit. So, when he's rushing to the hospital room, right? Like, clearly, he's fucking getting there. He has a stuffed animal for his friend. And I think he has maybe, like, some magazine or newspaper or whatever. But when he gets to the door, because once again, you see the father laid up here. There's the door. And then on the outside of the door, father can't see him, he stops, composes himself a little bit, and he walks in like he doesn't really give a shit and starts giving the father hell while he's laid up in a hospital bed. But I like that because we see that truly he cares for his friend. And there's multiple scenes early on that goes both ways on that because you see, the same thing from Father Dyer, you can tell he truly cares for his friends as well. And it's funny because like whenever they both go to see the movie, because every year they end up going to see. It's the anniversary of, the first, the events of the first one. They always go see It's a Wonderful Life. That's like their tradition, and it's funny because when they tell other people that they're going to go see a movie, they each tell the other person like, "I'm just going to cheer a friend up." But in reality, they want to, they're friends. They want to be together, So, I don't know. I thought that was really cool. And once again, this script was very well written because it gives you characters to root for. On top of that, the movie itself, performances are great. The story's great. Brad Dourif, because, what's his fucking name? I don't want to cheat. Father Karras from the first one. Jason Miller. Didn't have to look down. He reprises his role because once again, and I'm giving the twist away right here, the Gym Night Killer is fried because he gets caught back in the 70s. And once again, all the murders are coming back, but they're in the same pattern of the Gym Night Killer. And I forget what the MO of the Gym Night Killer was. They carved a pentagram on the back, I think, and then they carved the Gemini symbol on the back, and then they cut something in the hand or something like that. But they let the detail, or they cut off a finger of the hand. Either way, they let the detail out in the newspaper. That way, when people are showing up like, I'm the Gemini Killer, and they're, telling the story, they always leave the detail out. That way, they can weed out, who really, whatever. And so now the killers are, the murders are back, and they're resembling the Gemini murders from, the 70s. He started wondering, like, what the hell? Well, what happened was, and just go with it because it's movie logic. Whenever the Gym Night Killer was fried, Brad Dourif, his soul, as it's leaving, he somehow crossed paths with Father Karras, who took the possession, and then he sacrifices himself in part one, throws himself out the window down the massive flight of stairs, and then as Father Karras' soul is finally leaving, fucking Gym Night Killer sneaks in with it, tackles him back into it, and now he's taking over his body. So they have the funeral, they declare him dead, and then, of course, what happens is he gets himself out, and then he's wandering the streets, and, of course, at this point, he's fucking brain mush anyways, because, he's technically dead, and the Gym Night Killer got to kind of reanimate everything. Well, of course, he gets caught quickly, and he's thrown into, like, a psychiatric ward, where he's been spending the entire time. This movie is, like I said, there's a scene where George C. Scott's talking to, initially it's Jason Miller, but then, of course, the form kind of changes, and you see Brad Dourif. And, dude, Brad Dourif puts on a hell of a performance. Hell of an actor. Like, seriously. He always gets, like, the credit for Chucky, but no one really gives him credit for just being a straight-up fucking awesome actor. And this is it right here. Like, to me, I think this is probably his best performance ever. And, but, like I said, everybody else does an awesome job as well. I had another point to make before I got to the end of it. Lost the point. We're going to move on. A lot of people bitch about the ending. If you know the story behind this, the guy, it's written and directed by the author of the book that the first movie is based on. William Peter Blatty. And anyways, it's a sequel, but he was like, it's not, don't call it The Exorcist, especially don't call it The Exorcist 3, but he's like, this is just going to be a movie with those characters, but, it's a sequel, but it's, don't call it one or whatever. And, of course, the studio was like, nope, you're throwing it, you got to have an exorcism scene in this movie. They actually reshot a lot of material just for, they actually introduced a whole new character. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell. A lot of people said when they watched it, they're just like, well, it's a very uneven film, and you can just tell, the new scenes and everything. And honestly, when I watched it, I couldn't tell. I didn't know. In fact, I didn't know about the exorcism, added until way after the fact I watched it. And watching it now, I still don't think it's that bad. I think I think people blow it out of proportion. However, the original director's cut is coming out, I believe, next month or the month after next. Scream Factory. Go guys over at Scream Factory, going to be releasing the original version of this. the original intent of this. This is obviously the original version, but the director's cut will be coming out soon. I didn't mind it though. Like I said, I thought it was. I think it's a good story. I love the final showdown. Dude, that final showdown is badass. Because at this point, I don't think it's Pazuzu. I think it's Satan. Like, Satan is literally now in, Father Karras. And he's battling Father Morning. And, of course, eventually the showdown with Kinderman himself. I just think it's fucking awesome. Yes, I know what I was going to say earlier. And, dude, this also has the scariest scene flat out. Like, literally, one of those scenes that literally made me jump. And, dude, it's the scene where, because at this point, this demon, or Jim Night Killer, he can kind of possess old people for whatever reason. I guess because they're just old and feeble, it's easier to enter them. I don't know. But he's causing old people to do the murders for him. Because, he's been locked up. How's he doing it? Well, he's getting old people to do it. And there's just a scene at the hospital. And there's a lot, and dude, the way he's set up, the camera's just stationary, right? Like, just fucking stationary. And this nurse, here's the noise, she goes, and then of course it does cut to, the fake scare, because she goes, check on one patient, and of course he's like, what are you doing, big scare. As she leaves, she, here's another one, she comes out, she looks, nothing in the room, and then when she backs away, she's instantly followed by somebody. It looks like a demonic nun or some shit. Like, dude, just awesome, and just, I don't know, I can't explain it. Dude, one of the scariest scenes ever. Like, literally, it's a jump scare. For sure, but it's an effective jump scare. Holy shit, just awesome. Music cue is perfect. The scene itself is just great. It also has some very crazy imagery too. There's a scene where George C. Scott, he's starting to put the pieces together. He's starting to realize that they're using the elderly to carry out these crimes, and he's walking around in like I guess it's like the nursing home section, like the elderly wing of the hospital. But you get this one old woman on the ceiling, and you know what? It looks great. Like, camera tricks are not from the 90s. It looks cool, and just this weird, creepy scene where she's crawling, just like a fucking fly, just across the top. I love it. Fucking love it. Highly recommend this. Highly recommend this. If you're like me and you're like, I didn't care for the first Exorcist. I think it's just overrated, and I didn't bother with the sequels. Well, you probably shouldn't bother with the other sequels. Check this one out. And right now, I'll tell anybody. I'm telling you right now, this is the best Exorcist movie. I fucking love it. Just great stuff. Great acting, great story, great directing. Everything about it is just great. Yeah. Check that shit out. All right, so now we're moving on to going back a few years to '84 to see Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is the last one they ever made. They wrapped it up. A 4-movie franchise that lived on. Alright. So, takes place immediately after part 3. Jason's not dead. I think it's funny that like people, in every review, I don't care, I haven't done 6 yet, but I'm sure I'll say the same thing. Part 6 is when he's zombie Jason. Like, part 6, he was reanimated by lightning and he became zombie. It's like, what do you fucking call him in this? Because, like, an axe in the head and a broken neck and everything else, declared dead. Like, at the scene, they're just like, no, he's dead. Heart stopped. He's fucking dead. And he comes right back. Like, no explanation why. He's like, I'm awake. I'm awake now. Oh, it's pumping again. Let's go. Let's do this. What? I don't know. But whatever. People will be like, he wasn't dead yet. He's fucking dead in this one. Now, once again, last week, I guess I made the controversial comment that I didn't care for the Jason in part 3. I thought that dude was just too stiff. I don't know. I didn't like the look of him. I don't know. He just looked like Lurch or some shit. I don't know. I didn't care for him. I love the Jason in this one. Had more personality. Not necessarily just the Jason, just the way Jason was written. And maybe this is me looking too deeply into it. But I just love how he kills, I guess. Like, I feel like if you're looking like into the psychology of the Friday the 13th film, this is the movie where Jason kind of has the confidence in his murders. What I mean by that is there's just a lot of scenes that are just kind of head scratchers. For one, okay, so Teddy's watching the Stag film downstairs, and George McFly, what the fuck was his name in this movie? Jimbo. So he comes down and he's just like, I got laid, and they're like, oh, it's time to celebrate. So he goes into the kitchen to get, corkscrew. Where's corkscrew at? Of course, Teddy at this point is fucked beyond recognition. He's just fried. He's lost in his, porno film. And, of course, George McFly bites it. He just gets killed right there in the kitchen. Okay, now, the layout. He's watching the film here. I'm guessing the kitchen's back that way. On the same floor. Screen right there. George McFly's getting killed back there. But Jason decides, no, I'm going to go outside real quick. Easy kill right here. An easy kill. And he's like, nah, I'll make it more sporting. Fuck Teddy. He's going to be an easy person I can take out later. Let me go outside real quick. So he goes outside. Now, meanwhile, I forget which twin, I'm going to say Tina, is upstairs. She just fucked George McFly's brains out. And she's looking around for him, and she looks outside because her other sister she's dead. The other twin's dead. She's looking outside the window. Now at this point, Jason had to be outside. Like, what am I going to do now? Oh shit, the other twin. She's looking out the window. I'm going to hurt him climb up there. He climbs up the side of the house real quick. There's no way he would have known either way, right? Like, he didn't just decide I'm going to hang out by this window in the off chance that someone walks by. But she does take a while. She looks out once, goes to another window, looks out, does a weird looks again. Like on the third look, he finally breaks through and yanks her out. Now at this point, there was another couple having sex, like over there, and he's making all this noise. He's just like, fuck it. Like, I'm Jason Voorhees at this point, motherfucker. Like, this is my part 4. This is my part 4 in the franchise. I'll kill out of sequence and in random places if I want. So then after he kills that one, he goes back down. He climbs back down the thing, goes back into the other room, goes into the kitchen, and grabs the thing again. He grabs the cleaver or the knife or something, and decides to off Teddy then. Ballsy as fuck. Like, Teddy could have got away. Another example of how he decides to go for the sporting kill rather than the easy kill is when Tommy Jarvis and his sister are upstairs, and he's already got the TV slammed on his head. He's laid out. He's sprayed out right there, and of course they're trying to get around him. They get separated. He wakes up, throws the axe, and of course now he's ready to go after. He has to go after one. Now you got the girl, Trish, was that her name? Like, she has so many places to run, but you get Tommy Jarvis, who's cornered in that room. Now, think about it. You're Jason fucking Voorhees. If she comes at you, you can just pie-face her out of the way, tear her apart. She tried to save her little brother. Guess what? Fuck you. Rip apart. Now it's your turn. But he's like, nope. I'm going after her. I'm going to chase after her. It's fucking great. The scene where he first chases her in the house, he's downstairs in the basement the entire time, right? Her and shit. Getting the characters mixed up. The guy who's tracking Jason, like the guy who's trying to hunt Jason, I forget the dude's name. But her, Trish and him, they go, and he goes down the basement. He's like, you stay up here. They leave Tommy at home, by the way, which is the most ridiculous thing. He knows the maniac's out there. He knows there's a serial killer on the loose. And there's he literally says to Tommy Jarvis on the way out, hold the fort down. There you go, guys. So, they're at the party house. He decides he's going to go down the basement. There are no shit's going down. It's already established shit's going down. He goes down the basement. She, hears a noise or something like that, goes up, what's this right here, blah, blah, blah. Sees dead bodies, freaks out, runs down, oh my god, there's dead bodies. They go up the stairs. He goes back down there, and guess what? Jason's down there already. Which means Jason was hanging out down there the entire time, like underneath the stairs going, hoo-hoo, shit, this is going to be good. Nah, I'm not going to jump him now, just wait. He's leaving. I'm sure he'll come back down. He did. Here's my chance. Now, as he's killing the fuck out of this dude, right? And she's up there just screaming. Like, she's screaming on the stairs for for 20, 30 minutes, right? Like, oh my god! She runs out there. But then she stops, and she's like, I'm going to go back and try to save him. You saw 17 penetrations with that fucking garden rake thing. Like, he's dead. There's no saving this dude now. But she goes back for whatever reason. Now, she goes back down there. Jason's gone. Right? Now, he didn't have time to go upstairs. So she's like, shit. She runs upstairs. He's underneath the stairs hiding. Which means that Jason is killing the shit out of this guy. She runs off screaming. Now, he doesn't see what she's doing. He's just fucking killing the dick out of this dude. And then he's just like, I bet she'll come back. I'm going to go underneath the stairs. And he's underneath the stairs. She's back downstairs. And he's like, I'm not going to jump her yet. I'm going to wait till she runs upstairs. Then I'm going to grab her through the stairs. It'll be hilarious. Because seriously, he's just like, at this point, he's having fun. When the last girl in the party group, like, she sees the body, she's screaming, oh my god, she's running. Now, he's on the other side of the front door with his axe ready. And she's, like, trying to get the door open. And he's just like, I'm just going to launch the fucking axe into the door. I can't see on the other side of this door. I don't know what's going to happen. This could get stuck in the door. It can go past her. It's going to be fun. And he just gets lucky. Lucky shot through the fucking thing. I love it. Now, I sound like I'm making fun of this movie. I am not. This is actually one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies. It is so by the formula that it's great. Like, literally, at this point, they're just like, fuck it, let's get more kids, have some titties, and we're just going to have them wipe out motherfuckers. That's it. That's all we're going to do. And you know what? It worked perfectly. It makes me, it makes me wonder why we don't do this more often. Where is the next Friday the 13th fucking movie at? Because this is all you need. I'm happy with this. Just give me some kids in a fucking cabin and let Jason go nuts. And you know what? It don't have to be logical. It does not have to be logical. Because people who are like bitching about the remake Friday the 13th, it's like, are you saying this is a masterpiece? No, this is just fun. It's a fun movie to watch. Fuck you for pissing all over the remake, because now we don't have another Friday the 13th. You guys bitched about the remake, and now we don't get a new one until like 13 years now. We're going to wait 13 fucking years for another remake because you guys bitched about it. And yet you guys are like, that's a classic. It's not really a classic, it's just fun. It's fun. But anyways, I don't know. I'm getting off track here. It's a great movie. This is one of the ones that when I was a kid I watched, oh my god, so many times. Over and over. I realized that when you grow up, certain characters just seem, like I used to like Teddy. Like as a kid, I was like, Teddy's funny. He's the cool guy. It's like, no, he's a sleazebag. Like this guy is just so fucking, like when he's trying to like make out that one girl, like forcefully kiss raping her, and you're just like, oh, Teddy, you're gonna die soon, but it's all right. You're gonna die, and you're gonna deserve it. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, once again, this is a classic. Everybody loves it. Corey Feldman's, really cool in it. I love that. I loved how because give Corey Feldman some credit, or not him, I guess, Tommy Jarvis. Give Tommy Jarvis credit. Like, literally, his sister, running around with Jason. He's back here, and he's just like, okay, I'm going to shave my head. Like, I'm going to, on the off chance. Like, he finds a newspaper clipping, and he's just like, hey, he was a kid once that looked bald. Maybe he's dumb enough to fall for it, and he shaves his head off, and sure enough, Jason is dumb. It's great. And I love the scene building up to that, because literally we get some Jason running. And everybody's like, oh, he only ran part 2. Well, he runs in this one too. Little short bursts. Like, he kind of stalks, and then he runs at him real quick. And dude, she fucking turns around, she jumps from the top floor. Like, she jumps out the window. And it's great because even though I know it's a movie and that's the way the stunt worked, in her mind, though, the character's mind, she jumps out the window. She's like, there's going to be there's a little balcony here. But she goes through the window, and the momentum carried her off the fucking balcony into she's just like, fuck, this is the worst. But she's laying there, right? And Jason goes up to the window, like perch. Like, not a robot, not just looking up. He was like, did I get her? And then she starts moving, right? And then he's just like, fuck, and he goes back down. Now, clearly she's a little groggy, but she goes into her house. And of course the lights are still on. She hears her brother yell down. She's like, Tommy, but she's just walking. She's casually sitting there like, Tommy, why didn't you leave the house? And I'm just like, you do realize there's a serial killer who has short bursts of speed coming after your ass, right? She doesn't care. She's just like, Tommy. It worked out though, because literally, she holds her own. Give her that. She had balls too. She went toe-to-toe with Jason, fucking split him right down there, and then Tommy Jarvis comes down, and just like, huh? And Jason's like, yep, that's me. That's me when I was a kid, even though he saw a kid earlier with the same face. You can't say it's not part of the continuity, because he was dumb enough to think that Amy Steele was his mom in part 2, even though he was chasing her into that room. It was like a bad, magic trick. Like, in Jason's mind, he's just like, there's that bitch, I gotta kill her. Where'd she go? Mom, is that you? Huh. Well, this is weird. Yeah, no, you're mommy. And he, puts his, same thing here. Like, literally, like, there's a kid upstairs. I want the kid upstairs. I'm gonna come out and kill him. I'm gonna get his sister first. And then, like, this kid just shows up. He's like, no, that's not the kid. That's me. That's me as a kid. Like, Jason, fucking retardation. I love it. But all jokes aside, honestly, I know I'm ripping on this movie, but it's so much fun to watch. Like, I enjoy this movie. I know this will come off as like a negative review. It's not, dude. Like, this is up there. Like, seriously, 5-star fucking movie. Now, I'll say that. Straight face, 5-star fucking movie. I love it. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. George McFly is awesome. What the fuck's his name? Crispin Glover. Sorry, I'm so excited about the movie. I like all the kids. Like, all the kids are just their one-note stereotype, but they're great. Yeah. Good kills. Tom Savini came back because he thought for sure that he was going to kill Jason. He's just like, I'm back. We'll kill Jason off together. And the whole time, as they're making it, they're like, yeah, we're going to know one, right? Oh, yeah, okay, we're going to do that one. Don't worry about it. Final chapter. Come on. But yeah, no, good stuff. So this week, a really good double feature. Like, if you were actually watching movies back to back, this would be a good one. Like, you know, you're watching late night like Monster Vision or some shit, and these two films, you're made in the shade. Two great films right here. So that's alright. Exorcist 3, bam. Friday the 13th, final chapter, bam. There we go. Guys, that's all I got. Until next time.